Welcome back. Now in this lecture we are going to create the authentication facilities. And prior to Laravel version 6, creating authentication facilities is totally different. In version 6 you'll see here we need first to install the Laravel UI package using Composer. But in previous versions you don't need to install anything. You just need to run an artisan command and then it will generate the entire authentication facilities. So that's the first thing we need to do. So let's install this package using Composer. On the terminal, I'm going to run Composer require Laravel UI. So probably it takes a few seconds to install. Wait for it. So as it continues to install, I'm going to show you the previous versions of how to create authentication. So let's go to any of the previous versions. So I'm going to Laravel version 5.8, click on that. And this one is just in case anyone is using Laravel version 5.8 or the previous version of 6. So as you can see here, I want to get started first. Just run php artisan make auth. And once you do that, then it will create for all the authentication facilities needed for authentication. So let's go back to Laravel version 6. So as you can see, this one is installing. So wait for it. So it has completed installing that package. Now the next step is to run this other command, php artisan UI and then view. So this one will install all the view components for authentication. So I'm going to copy that command, paste. So view scaffolding installed successfully. So we have this app layout which already exists. I'm just going to say yes. And authentication scaffolding generated successfully. That means it has installed all the facilities we need for authentication. So if we go to the app directory, we'll see we have a new controller inside the controllers directory called home controller. So the home controller handles all the logic for authenticating users. So here you'll see we have a middleware which authenticates users, and once a user has been authenticated, then that user is redirected to the dashboard, which is the home view. So this home view has also been generated. It can be found on the resources views folder. So we have this home view. So this is the dashboard. So a user once has been authenticated, then they are directed to this view. Something else which has been generated is the layouts. So we have this app.blade, and then something else, we have the auth directory which has all the views for login, that is the login view or the login form, register form, verify, password, and then the passwords. Then something else is the routes file. If you open that web.php file, you'll see we have a new route which has been added. So you can see here we have this home controller which can be found on the app. So we have this home. So this is the controller that authenticates users, and we have that route already added. Then something else which has been added is this SAS and this JS. So we have these components for JavaScript and the SAS, that is the SCSS. So first let's go to the browser and see whether we can be able to see the login and the register form, the facilities. So Laravel, that is Laravel.test. Let's first go to the register form. So this is how our register form looks like. Let's go to login. So as you can see, this is because we don't have any CSS that is formatting these pages. So what you're going to do next is to add the npm modules, that is the node modules, by running npm install. So before you do that, make sure your machine is installed with node.js or node. So enter to install the node modules. So it should not take long, wait for it, because there are so many packages it will have to install. And remember, we are installing these node modules so that we can be able to perform the Laravel mix, so that we can have minified versions of this SCSS, that is the SAS, and once we are done, they'll be placed on this public directory, so that you can be able to render these login and register views properly. So wait for it. So it has completed, and it has added over 1,000 packages, that is the node modules packages. So if you go to your project, you'll see now we have this new directory called node modules, which has a lot of packages. Same way you can look it and find it on this project. So now the next step is to run this npm run dev. So npm so that one is going to compile all the CSS and place them on this public directory. That is the minified versions of the SCSS. So it's going to place them here on a directory called CSS. So I'm going to run. So it has completed. As you can see, now we have these two directories, CSS, which has all the bootstrap files. That is the minified version of bootstrap. And then here we have also the JS. Now if we go to the browser again and refresh, you can now be able now to see our form. Let's go to the register form, and then now as you can see, you can be able now to see it properly. So let's register user, email, password, and register. So as you can see, we have been able to register a user. That means that facility is working. Drop on this menu here, you'll see we have this logout. So this is the dashboard. You can see on the URL we have the home, which can be found on the resources views folder. So that's the file or the view that we said once a user has been authenticated, then they will be redirected to this dashboard. So logout. Let's try to log in. Remember, login. And as you can see, also the login is also working. So we go now to the phpMyAdmin on the database. So let's go to the users table and see whether you have any user who has been registered. And now as you can see, we have that user who is ID 1 and was registered on this date. So that means that facility is working perfectly, and I'll see you in the next lecture.